Achievement Induction Ceremony because it allows us to look back upon our very rich history here at Brecksville Broadview Heights High School, to people who have helped create the legacy that we have before us today. So with that, I want to turn over the program to coordinator of the Gallery of Achievement, the selection committee chair, Mr. Lou Caruso.
Good morning. So glad to have all of you here, all juniors and seniors. Today we're inducting 4 people into our Gallery of Achievement. For a lot of you, you may not even know what the Gallery of Achievement is. So it's a little bit of background. It's part of the Brecksville Broadview Heights High School Alumni Association. And it's an opportunity for us to honor graduates and faculty for the things that they've distinguished themselves in their lives through community service, through personal development, and their vocational accomplishments. These grads have used the tools that they've learned here that you're presently learning to use in communities and in their jobs to make a difference. They're really our role models and they're contributors to our community. Each year we take applications for this award. We have so many, and so when you see the people who are here that are being recognized today, you know that they really are at the top of a very deserving group of people. The way that's done is we have a selection committee of 7 people that's comprised of the chambers of commerce of both cities, the school district, also the alumni association and people from the high school. And from that we make our selections. So tonight we have 4 very deserving people, and we'll go ahead and get started with our first presenter. We'll have somebody that will present the individual, and then the recipient will also be able to come up and give a few remarks. I think if you pay attention, you're going to learn a lot of things about how what you learn here at the high school really pays off later on in your life. So at first, I want to introduce, on behalf of Mark Robinson, Congressman Sean Brennan.
Thanks for the promotion, Mr. Cruz. I'm State Representative Sean Brennan, and I taught in the Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools for 27 and a half years. I left 22 months ago to service at the State House down in Columbus. And I just want to begin my comments by saying, if you're a taxpayer in the Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools, thank you very, very much for the opportunity to serve your young people for the almost 3 decades that I taught at the middle school and high school. You know, my grandfather told me when I was a young man that I was wasting my potential of becoming a teacher. God bless his soul, he was wrong. He wanted me to go to law school. I got to teach with some amazing individuals. I'm looking down, I see Julie Fields, who's just a consummate professional. And it was an honor to nominate Mark Robinson for the Gallery of Achievement. Unfortunately, I won't be walking by that wall to see his face up there on that plaque like I did for so many years to so many folks that left a legacy here in the Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools. But I know that those of you that are still here and for generations to come, they'll hopefully look up and realize the impact that he and the other nominees today and the previous inductees had on this school district. You know, the older you get, and those of you that are my age or older realize you look back and there are inflection points in your life. People that enter your life and change the trajectory of your life. I think of Jim Huth in high school, who handed me an application to the University of Dayton. No one in my family had ever gone to college, and I knew I wanted to go to college, but I never set foot on a college campus. He handed me the application, I filled it out. My first day on campus at the University of Dayton was the first day you were allowed on campus as a freshman. I was scared to death. After I graduated from the University of Dayton, went on to Cleveland State, got my teaching license. I subbed for a couple of years. I subbed in almost every district in Northeast Ohio for the first year. The second year, I quit all the other districts. I subbed exclusively in the Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools because I knew this was the place for me. I applied in many districts in the region. No one would hire me. I literally applied for a position in Parma 3 times. I represent Parma Heights, and West Park currently. My wife and I have lived there for our 30 years of marriage, raised our kids there. And I was scared. You know, those of you that were looking for a job back when I was looking for a job, you know it was really, really hard to find a teaching job. And so I applied for a job thanks to the help of Joni Deutsch, who worked with the athletic department at the time. While I was subbing, I would go to her office and kind of commiserate with her. She would always boost me up. And she wrote a letter to L. Neil Johnson, a letter of recommendation for me, who was superintendent at the time. And before you knew it, I got a job interview. And I interviewed with Mark Robinson and John Nauer. And I don't remember what I said. I know I was a nervous wreck. I then had my second interview with L. Neil Johnson, and those of you, how many of you remember L. Neil? He's a pretty intimidating guy, especially for a 25-year-old. And the only thing I remember about that interview is he asked me, what are 3 things you'd die for? And you know, you want to get those answers right. I think I said family, friends, and what else did I say? Family, friends, and my country. Like a good social studies teacher. And so, you know, 2-3 weeks went by, and I didn't hear anything. So I called Mark Robinson at the middle school, which was Central School, so it was when we were still downtown Brecksville. And I said, Mr. Robinson, I said, do you guys need anything else? You know, I haven't heard anything. And he's like, oh, Sean, you didn't hear? ETA. He said, you were hired. And I'm like, well, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking in my brain, nobody told me. But even before I thought that, like I think my head literally hit the ceiling. And I got no game, okay? I mean, I'm not a jumper, but I think I literally jumped and hit the ceiling. I was so excited to get my teaching job. In fact, I just found my very first evaluation report from Mark Robinson the other day. And can I just read a little bit of this to you? He says, Mr. Brennan strives to reach consensus and work well with others, which I still try to do at the State House. He relates well to students and parents. His relationship with other staff continues to develop as he feels more secure in his position. And I could go on and on. But Mark, as a brand new teacher, it's tough. And you question your abilities. But you were always there to support me. I never felt like I had to have my battle gear on, or put up my defenses, or worry about that gotcha moment. And I know every teacher that worked for you, every administrator that worked for you. How many of you worked for Mark Robinson at one point or another? How many of you, if you worked for him, maybe your students had him when he was principal here at the middle school or high school? And Julie and I were just talking about this a few minutes ago. I would not be where I am today if it was not for Mark Robinson. Please give him a round of applause, everybody. It was an honor to nominate him. I love this man. I wouldn't have the beautiful family I have today. I wouldn't have 30 years of beautiful teaching, over around 10,000 students that I served in the Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools, and I would not have gotten to know many of you in the room who I count as very dear friends. I'm a very blessed man, and it all started with this man right here. Congratulations, Mark. I love you.
Boy, this is emotional for me. As you can see, we worked together in this community even 20, 30 years ago as quite the team. And I do thank Mr. Brennan for nominating me, thinking about me as somebody to be looked at as a member of the Gallery of Achievement. When I was principal here at the high school, and for the students in here, you're not going to believe this, we opened this building back in 1997. And I'm thinking that most of you were born in what, 2007, 2008, somewhere in that era. But to us, this is still the new building. And when we opened this building, we were a team. There was a lot of camaraderie. And I think you can see that with the way Sean introduced me this morning. And Sean, we love you too. And we didn't make a mistake when we hired, I can tell you that. It was one of the best decisions we made. So thank you very much for all the years you served the students here at the school. And to the Gallery Achievement Committee this morning, thank you. I am proud to be recognized with today's exceptional honorees, and you're going to hear from 4 of us, and I think we all have a different journey, a different path that we followed here within Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools, and that means a lot. In fact, I was the principal when the PTA put this program together. And as I sat there and we worked on it, we put the program together, the last thing that I thought about was, maybe someday you'll be up there on stage, Mark, being recognized as a Gallery of Achievement person. That was the last thing for my mind. Because truly what I was here for, and what I continue to be in education for, this is 44 years for me. And I'm still in education, superintendent of schools in a small district over in the Sandusky area. If you know where Cedar Point is, we're close to Cedar Point. And so far I haven't been able to walk away. And it's because of the people that I work with and the pride that we have in what we do. Again, I look back, it's 30 years now, and I look back at close to 30 years of the folks who I worked with when we opened the building. A lot of them are here, and I'm not going to start naming them because I'm going to miss somebody. But people who really made it happen. And I guess that's what I'd like to say this morning, is that we're not successful on our own. We're successful together. We have to work together, and we can't look at ourselves. We have to work together and make sure that we're a team. And if you do that, great things will happen. I can tell you, my wife Joni's with me this morning. My family and I will always cherish our years here in Brecksville, Broadview Heights. This is always home to us. We've been a few different places in the state, but this is still home. And we have 3 children who graduated from here, Kirk, Nathan, and Caitlin. All 3 of them are doing very well today. And all 3 of them will credit their Brecksville, Broadview Heights schools experience for their success. Now, they weren't perfect kids. Mr. Riggs will tell you, I think he dealt with our middle one, Nathan, quite a bit. But you know what? Today, they're great kids, and they are who they are because of Brecksville Broadview Heights City Schools. I guess after 44 years in education, my most profound purpose has never changed. My purpose is to assist every student every day in becoming your best. And if I were still here, still working with you, still working with the staff members, that's my goal. I tried to always be out in the hallway. I tried to be in classrooms, different places where I could work with the students and allow those students to be their best. And you know what? I think we've been pretty successful, because I know all of you are successful in your student roles today. A lot of folks that I work with, a lot of kids who are now adults and have children of their own, are very successful out in the world. And I really look forward to working with folks and working together with them. And I guess I would say, and then I'll stop. I've got a lot of notes here. I could go on forever. But don't make it about yourself. And I'm sure that you don't, but never make it about yourself, but be successful as a contributing member of your family, your school, your work team, and the nation. Because by working together is the way we make change. Live an altruistic lifestyle. I always say that to the students that I work with. Live an altruistic lifestyle. Be caring. Support others. Be community-minded. We must be community-minded. And especially with the turmoil that's going on in the world today. Don't get mixed up in that. Become part of the community. And work hard to enable a community like Brecksville and Broadview Heights to be in place. And I would say, make a difference. You hear that a lot. But as I talk to you as students today, make a difference. go out into the world and be that difference maker. Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be up here on the stage, being honored for whatever. But this isn't what it's all about, and I'll go back to that one more time. What it's all about are those relationships that you have over the years, the time that we're spending today together, you know, the relationships. That's what it's all about, and I want you to remember that as you leave here today. Be that difference maker. Again, thank you for this very, very special day in my life. Brecksville Broadview Heights, you're always home. You are awesome. God bless each one of you, and go Bees.
I believe the Go Bees are coming. That's it. Here we go.
Our next presenter is Maria Schneider. I think many of you know Maria, as she's part of the faculty that's here today, but she's going to introduce a very special lady from the class of 1988, Allison Glodna Clark. Maria?
Mr. Robinson, you kind of hit how I'm going to define Allison in introducing her and what I'm hoping for the students to hear. Today we celebrate a woman who not only embodies the character traits of altruism, kindness, and compassion, but also possesses many others. In a world that often focuses on personal gain, this person stands out by always putting others first. Whether it's providing assistance or simply being present, her generosity and empathy shine through. With a heart full of care, she reminds us all how one person can make a real difference in the lives of many. To the students in the audience, I encourage you to listen closely as people describe who Allison is, her character strengths, those superhero powers we learned in health class, have been the foundation of who she has become today. You may know Miss Clark as Quinn's mom from Kick It, but there's so much more to her story. I first met Allison as a freshman in high school, and she was a senior on the volleyball team, and boy did I look up to her. I knew she made a difference from that day I met her. Her coach, Karen Horvath, who's here today, sums up her as a student athlete best. Allison was skilled in both basketball and volleyball. She was competitive, hardworking, and never complained. As a true team player, she was always selfless and demonstrated great sportsmanship. She remembers a game in Cleveland Heights where she played perfect defense, but when their best player fell, Allison immediately helped her up, showing her kindness even in the heart of competition. If you ask me whether her success surprises me, I'd say no. I've always believed she was meant for greatness, helping others without needing any recognition. After graduating from Drexel Broadview Heights High School, Allison attended Boston College, where she earned a degree in communication and journalism, while competing as a student athlete on the volleyball team and was an academic All-American. Following college, she worked as a broadcaster for Channel 5 on Good Morning Cleveland and the Weekend News. After leaving Channel 5, she became an account executive at Maggio J. Walter Thompson. Allison is the founder of Flashes of Hope, an organization dedicated to accelerating the search for a cure for pediatric cancer, while honoring the lives of children affected by the disease. Under her leadership, the program expanded to 110 locations nationwide, providing 87,000 families with free professional portraits. Through innovative fundraising efforts like the Big Shots and Little Stars events with the Cleveland Cavs and the Kick It grassroots Allison has helped raise $10 million for cancer research. Allison built key partnerships with major sports teams and foundations, led the organization's strategy and marketing, and was featured in outlets like CNN and People. In 2021, she merged Flashes of Hope and Kick It with the Alex's Lemonade Foundation to further the cause. Her husband, Kip, shared, "Since first conceiving Flashes of Hope in 2001, Allison has been single-mindedly focused on helping as many families as possible, now over 100,000. Without even drawing a salary, she embodies servant leadership, always putting others first in both her personal and community work. She is a remarkable person, and I am incredibly grateful to have her in my life every day. She inspires me to be the best version of myself." Annette Baker, CEO of the Children's Tumor Foundation, said, "Allison turns tough moments into positive, lasting memories. She celebrated the courage of children above suffering, joy above sadness, and optimism above desperation. Her dedication to honoring life has touched many hearts and raised awareness for the invisible power of caring, joy, and optimism. Her little stars will continue to shine in our hearts forever." Rob McKinley, who was a longtime chairman of Flashes of Hope Board, remarked, "Allison is a dynamic and selfless leader. I had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the impact she made in leading Flashes of Hope. She is remarkably articulate, kind, compassionate, and truly exceptional in everything she does." Finally, Lauren Raymer, a former Kick It with the Beast participant and cancer survivor, said, quote, "Mrs. Clark is a saint who helped me become my most confident self as a cancer survivor. Through Kick It, she gave me a voice, and with Flashes of Hope, she made me feel beautiful in the midst of cancer. I wouldn't be who I am without her." These heartfelt words beautifully illustrate Allison's character, leadership, and lasting impact on countless lives. It is truly an honor to introduce Allison today, not only because of the incredible impact she's had on pediatric cancer research through Flashes of Hope and Kick It, but also because how much she means to me personally. Kick It has had a profound impact on our community, uniting us all for a cause that matters deeply. When Allison asked me to introduce her, I was reminded of the qualities that have shaped her success: her unwavering dedication, her selflessness, and her relentless drive to put others first. These traits have been at the core of everything she's done, not just raising millions for research, but giving children and families hope and joy during the most challenging of times. Her character is what sets her apart, and that is the reason why she has made a lasting difference in the fight against pediatric cancer. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Allison Glubna Clark.
Man, I'm not good at these award things, so thank you, Maria, and that was really beautiful. But honestly, I always feel that when anyone gets an award, that there should be about 1,000 people standing up here with the person that's getting the award. I mean, what Mrs. Snyder, and actually all of you, have done to raise money for Kick It is just remarkable. It was easy for me to raise money for pediatric cancer because I had a reason to, but I really do appreciate the people who don't have a reason and thankfully don't have a personal experience that go out there and make a difference for others. That's way more remarkable than anything I've done. I feel very fortunate to have been raised by incredible parents, wonderful siblings. I had a great husband and family. I was so excited to see Ms. Horvath here today. He was the best coach I ever had. So honestly, just thank you so much. This award means a lot to me, and I am very appreciative of what you've all done with Kick It, and I know what you all will continue to do in your lives to help other people. So thank you.
Paul is here to introduce a member of our music faculty that goes back into the 1960s. Actually, was one of the faculty members that I had the privilege of being here at the high school with, and that is Gordon Boyd. And I'm going to introduce Paul, and he's going to tell you all about this special person for our music program. Paul?
Thank you, Alumni Association and Mr. Cruz. Mr. Gordon Boyd. Mr. Gordon Boyd was a man with superior knowledge of musical content in his lessons, had an incredible passion for teaching, had an unconditional love for all of his students. He was a man who cleared the path, that paved the way, that put the Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School instrumental music program and Brecksville-Broadview Heights marching band on the map as an elite program. Today, when people mention Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School and the marching band and the instrumental music program as an elite program with so much pride, it's because of Mr. Gordon Boyd. Welcome back, Mr. Boyd, to Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School, to the place where you belong. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Eric Boyd, Mr. Boyd's son. Thank you.
My sisters and I are very honored to have this award from my father. You know, he passed away back in 1986. I think he's left a long legacy of students, and it was very impressive that this was happening. I didn't really prepare a speech, so I just want to say thank you to everybody. Very honored.
Thank you, Eric, for accepting that on behalf of your father. Our next presenter is somebody that I knew in high school a long, long time ago, Rick Amari. And Rick is here to introduce another one of our graduates from the class of 1973, Sherry Zach Morris. Rick?
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be presenting the latest inductee into the Brecksville-Broadview Heights Gallery of Achievement, Sherry Zach Morris. Sherry and I were classmates in the class of '73. Now, I know that sounds like a long time ago, but, well, it was a long time ago. During our lifelong friendship, I've always marveled at Sherry's accomplishments, her positive attitude, and her leadership qualities, and I'm thrilled to be here today to help induct her into the gallery. She was born with many of the qualities you'd expect to find in such an accomplished person. She's smart, she's talented, she's attractive, she's athletic, she's a born leader. For that, she mostly can thank her parents. She inherited those qualities. But qualities you're born with do not guarantee success. Hard work, ingenuity, perseverance, and a positive attitude are some of the trademark behaviors Sherry adopted on her life journey. And those qualities propelled her to amazing heights. She began her journey of success here in Brecksville High School, Brecksville-Broadview Heights. She was an excellent student, a cheerleader, and a gymnast. Now, we all know the amazing run that our gymnastic program has enjoyed. Sherry and her teammates, including Marsha Pesic, who's here today, were part of the original team that the Ganems led. Yes, she's a charter member of the Ganem regime, and I believe that group led the way by setting standards that future athletes would follow. Sherry and Marsha qualified for state championships all 3 years of their varsity career, and I'm pretty certain we're the first Brecksville gymnasts to go to state. It really helped put Brecksville on the map. After high school, Sherry attended Kent State, where she received a Bachelor of Science degree in Community Health Education. She then moved to California to pursue a career in the technology field. She had a successful career in technology, in sales and customer relations over a 25-year span. I won't go through her impressive career resume, but most of her roles dealt with being the face of the company for their customers. I do want to mention that I was in technology, and back in the 80s and 90s, it was very much a male-dominated field. But Sherry expertly navigated that challenge with her perseverance, positive attitude, and smarts. Sherry married her husband, Rod, 35 years ago, and they had an immediate family with his daughters, Jenny and Beth. They expanded the family with 2 boys, Zach and Alex. With Rod's support, she decided to chase her passion and put the community health degree to work by acquiring a small yoga studio in her California hometown near San Diego. The name of the studio is Yoga Vista. She took the business to new heights. She experimented with new concepts and continually strived to evolve Yoga Vista to reach more people. She centered on yoga for the maturing community, including chair yoga. She began developing instructional videos, and through marketing and high-quality content, Sherry developed a community of followers on YouTube, Facebook, and her private website, and today has over 100,000 subscribers and over 500 videos. Her Can't Stop the Feeling chair yoga dance is approaching 1 million views. She manages a team of over 30 instructors at Yoga Vista and continues to develop new content and videos for her vast community. Just as an example, a few years ago, my mother was, or I was seeking to look for an assisted living facility in Columbus, Ohio, where I live, for my mother. I went to a facility about a mile from my home, and I wanted to see what the activities were and what they could do. I look at the calendar, and lo and behold, there's a Yoga with Sherry Zach Morris activity on the calendar. It's blown away. Sherry is the poster child for ingenuity and entrepreneurship and an incredible representative for Brecksville Broadview Heights High School. Please join me in welcoming Sherry to accept this hire.
Thank you, Rick, for that great introduction, and just thank you for all your support and your friendship over all the many years we've been together, over 50. And I do want to mention a little shout out that Rick was the star quarterback for our 1972 undefeated Bees football team. To the selection committee for really recognizing my humble work. I really appreciate that so much. And to all of you Brecksville High School juniors and seniors, I want to tell you that 50 years ago, I was one of you. At that time, I had no idea what my major was going to be. I had no idea what kind of job I wanted. I had no idea where I was going to live when I grew up. And surely I had no idea when I graduated from Kent State University with a degree in community health education that I would be moving to San Diego, California with my dear friend Marshall Pesic. Marshall, where are you? Yay, Mars, we did it. And I really didn't know that I would have to spend 25 years in a high-tech career, traveling around the world doing product trainings, managing projects, working trade shows. And I'm thinking, why do I have to spend so long in an occupation in an area that I really had no training in, I really didn't have a passion for? But guess what? Now I know why I had to spend all those years in high tech. It brought me 2 things. First thing it brought me was my husband. Yay, my husband Rod, we've been married 36 years, he's the love of my life. We have 4 children and 2 grandkids, and we still live in San Diego, California. And the second thing my high tech job brought me were skills. Business skills, technology skills, management skills, sales, marketing skills. All those skills would come into play when I would finally start my own business. But guess what? I didn't know that at the time. Then 9/11 came. Yeah, I know you all weren't born in 9/11, but it was a very tragic day in our country. And it hit me really hard. And what I realized that our lives as we know it can change in an instant. Right? We've seen that with the Hurricane Helene. Life can change in an instant. And I said, I want to do and live a life that's true to me. So I did a few small changes in my life, and they ended up actually paying really big dividends. I decided to volunteer for Meals on Wheels, delivering hot meals to seniors homebound seniors in my community. And I've always had a soft spot for the elderly. I think part of it is because I never grew up with grandparents. Many of them, most of them actually died before I was even aware that they were around. So I always enjoyed listening to seniors and their wisdom and their stories. I'd go into their homes and they'd show me pictures and help put up their Christmas trees. It was just a really wonderful time in my life. And then the second thing, after 9/11, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a yoga class. I heard yoga's good for stress. I had a lot of stress. I'm going to yoga. Well, when I walked in there, that teacher, that yoga teacher would end up being my mentor, and she would end up changing the course of my life. Of course, I didn't know that at the time. So Mary Kavanaugh, she was 79 years old when I met her. She had flaming red hair, she was full of pep and vitality, and I said, wow, I want to be like that when I get older. And she is considered to be the creator of chair yoga. Chair yoga is a specific type of exercise that's for the elderly, for seniors, for people with movement capabilities, to get their bodies moving, to support them. So I thought, wow, with my interest in the elderly and my interest in health and fitness, this was such a good match. So I ended up training with Mary for about 2 years. And one day Mary came up to me and she said, Sherry, I would like to create a video of the special type of yoga that I do. I said, Mary, I've never produced a yoga video ever, but guess what? I've managed a lot of projects. So I said, let's do it. So I found a videographer, signed a contract, got a location, sets, lights, makeup, all that stuff, and it was great. We did 2 DVDs. And it was successful, so Mary and I decided we'll start a yoga video production company, which we did. But unfortunately, Mary died just a few months after we had released those videos. So here I am going, wait a second. I want to do a career change. I just trained 2 years with this woman, and now all I have to show is a box of DVDs and, yes, VHS tapes. And I'm thinking, okay, what is this all about? So in one of my quiet moments, I am a meditator, and I always encourage everybody to meditate. It's a really important thing to do in life. And one moment, I heard Mary's voice, and she said this to me. She said, Sherry, I'm passing the baton to you. And I knew that to be true, but I didn't know what it meant. So I continued going to yoga at the yoga studio, and I started teaching chair yoga at the same studio that Mary and I met. And one day, that studio owner came up to me and she said, Sherry, I am 9 months pregnant. I just broke my foot. Would you buy my studio? And I said, what? I still have my high-tech job. And then I thought, wait a second. I just turned 50 this year. I'm going to buy that studio for my 50th birthday. And I did. And I turned that studio from a very active, kind of youth-oriented studio to a studio where seniors could come in, people who had chronic conditions like Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis, and we had a wonderful community of just bonding and exercise. So one day I had a little spark of an insight, and I said, you know what, I'm going to put a video camera behind my class, film my live chair yoga classes, and put it on YouTube. I'm thinking, you know, people from around the world, especially homebound seniors, really could benefit from this kind of exercise. So I would go on to produce over 25 yoga DVDs that I sold on Amazon. I have actually 1,000 videos in my video library. And I have 25 million views on my YouTube channel. So that's pretty exciting. And today my videos are being streamed to homes, nursing centers, adult daycare centers, community centers around the world. And I have trained over 1,000 yoga teachers, special type of yoga into their communities. And guess what? Each one of those teachers carries a little piece of Mary's baton. I am so grateful to have found a mentor. I'm so grateful to be a mentor. And I want to honor 3 of my mentors here at Brecksville High School. All 3 of them, by the way, are Gallery of Achievement winners. The first is Mrs. Doris Barber. She was my 6th grade teacher, gym teacher actually. And then the next one was Miss Nancy Martin, 7th grade gym teacher. And of course, Miss Joan Ganna, Mrs. Joan Ganna, where are you? I love you so much. She is inspired excellence. She totally inspired excellence. All 3 of those mentor teachers are in the Gallery of Achievement. How cool is that? And guess what? All of them inspired in me health and fitness as a priority in life. So all of you Brecksville High School juniors and seniors, if you don't know what your major is going to be, and you don't know what kind of job you want to have, and you don't know where you're going to live when you grow up, I'm here to tell you it's okay. You don't have to know. All you have to do is walk through the doors that God opens for you and enjoy the magical, wonderful adventure that is your unique life. Thank you so much for this honor. I am really humbly excited and grateful about it, you guys. I really am. And I want to say, go Bees. I want to say, God bless you, and finally, namaste to you all.
I want to thank you all for being a tremendous audience and being the best ambassadors at Drexel Broadview Heights High School that we could possibly have. The bell rang, we were a little bit long like every year, and one or two people get up and the rest of you guys sat there and listened attentively and showed the respect that I come to know from you. So thank you sincerely for being who you are. Congratulations to all of our Gallery of Achievement inductees today. Let's give one another round of applause. Before going to class, if I can impress upon you on one thing, we learned a lot about their talents, their abilities, their skills. And if you listen closely to each one of their induction speeches and the people who introduced them, it was those talents and skills and abilities that brought them here today. However, it was more importantly their choices to achieve. Each and every one of you have the same choice available to you. The talent in this room is unbelievable. And I'm thoroughly convinced that many of you that are sitting here as students today will one day sit in those seats right there before you as inductees into the Gallery of Achievement. A principal here used to say, through these hallways walk the finest people. And that remains very true today. Thank you guys, have a great day, and go
There's like a big B on the back. It's always. Oh, it's cute. Well, it's hard to get mine. I have environmental. Oh, environmental. That makes sense.
So I guarantee you guys aren't doing anything. Dude, no, we're not doing anything.